Well, we are back with yet another video on the subject of YouTube. I know some of you guys are likely getting annoyed about this. Don't worry, I am too. I did say, however, I'd keep you guys up to date, so here's me doing exactly that. This video is also going to be more scripted, by the way, as I want to get all of my points out there as clean and concise as possible. So, on August 31st, Jacksepticeye uploads a video called "The YouTube Issues Get Worse." What he talks about here is something that is a pretty big deal, and I think we need to spread his message around, as well as keep the pressure up on YouTube. The fact that we have gotten to this point once again, with YouTube landing themselves in hot water, isn't at all surprising, but it doesn't detract from what needs to be addressed. To get the full context of Jack's video, find the original video in the description of this video down below. So the first point Jack makes in the video revolves around videos being flagged. He talks about a video that he had made that had a lot of, well, let's just say stuff not appropriate for young eyes. He wanted to try and push the boundaries of what is acceptable and what isn't. The video wasn't yet uploaded at the time, and it got flagged automatically as not suitable for advertisers, and Jack wanted to try and appeal the video, and 2 days later, it got manually reviewed and greenlit. The video was deemed good to go. Then, when the video got uploaded, it got flagged again. So the big red flag out of this here tells us that videos that got manually reviewed and approved can be flagged down again and possibly demonetized and restricted in some way. You could have one human reviewer that has their standards and think that the video in question is fine, but if you had to get it manually reviewed again, and possibly by a different person that has different standards, that video could be negatively impacted. If a video is manually reviewed and approved, aka good to go, that should be the final word and bottom line. The fact that this can happen despite the decision being made originally is quite baffling and concerning as well. If the original decision is made by an actual human reviewer, then it should be the final say and not have it open to get flagged again. This here opens the possibility of making things even more unclear and convoluted as to what is acceptable and what isn't. Now this goes on to a second point that he makes in the video about how easily abusable the flagging system is here on YouTube. The fact that mass flagging can happen, and it can mean the difference between saving a channel and having it shut down, is very concerning. You may not know this, YouTube, but these creators in the community you treat like trash are humans first and foremost. They are real people with real responsibilities, with real people they need to support. When you have an already bad system in place in combination with bots acting in place of human reviewers, as well as those who abuse the flagging tool, this is a very dangerous issue that needs to have corrections in place. Also, the actual employees should be stepping in if there is an instance of a channel or video being mass flagged and reported in the event the flagging was done out of malice and hatred, rather than flagging because it's genuinely bad for the platform in a major way. Considering how big YouTube is and how they can afford to hire more people given how large the site has expanded over the years, I think it's high time YouTube does a massive overhaul and vastly improves their systems so they won't be so easily abused. Now the last thing that Jack brings up is something that I'd like to touch base on, and that is communication. The absolute lack of communication here has been a huge thorn in the side of the community for years. The fact that YouTube doesn't communicate with their community to respond to or take corrective actions in response to valid concerns is baffling. I get that YouTube ain't perfect. I never claimed they should be. There's not one single person, object, or entity on this earth that's perfect, but that doesn't change the fact that when there are issues, step up, take action, and speak to your community and tell them what you plan to do. Also on that note, open up a door with the community where their concerns can be taken in and heard out. If YouTube better communicated with the community, as well as communicate within themselves, such as the different teams in this big company, I truly believe YouTube would be a stronger and better place for many to flourish and do what they love to do. If we can't even get proper communication on what is going on, how in the hell can we flourish as a site in general? How can we overcome the fear and concerns of us one day waking up to our channels and livelihoods being gone because of a bad call by bots being ran on the site that works off faulty and weak systems? I'm going to end this video with a simple statement rather than my usual outro. From the YouTube community to YouTube themselves, YouTube, do better.